yesterday I was just talking about Bloom's taxonomy, right? This Bloom's taxonomy will be very helpful for you. I think you are all aware of this Bloom's taxonomy. This will help you to prepare the course of study, then lesson plan, exam assessment, as well as while you introduce while you teach a prose, poetry or grammar or creating grammar worksheets also, this will help you a lot. So what is Bloom's? It is an instructional theory that categorizes levels of learning. And it is also a tool for us, especially to write the learning outcomes, to plan before, for teaching, then for the content delivery, as well as for the assessment of learning levels. So Bloom's levels, each level has a list of action verbs that you have to note down it. And then remember, it is the lowest level using action verbs memorize, reproduce, or recognize facts and terms. And each step builds on the one below, requiring a higher level of thinking and more difficult learning activities, as we have it in the worksheets. If you just go through our grammar book, you will know. It is based on, you can see the first exercise will be very simple. Okay, it will ask the child to identify something or underline or circle, and then slowly it will lead to the higher level also. So here the basic level is remember. The child tends to remember whatever he has learned already. Then secondly, when we teach him a new thing, he will try to understand. And third level is he will try to apply that knowledge, whatever he has learned. Then he will also know to analyze it or differentiate it. Then evaluate and create. He will start creating his own. Using his application level, he can create on his own. Like it will help him to create as creative writing or essay writing. He can use the knowledge, especially while talking or when he does some creative writing. So if you see this, remembers to memorize, to reproduce or recognize facts and terms. Understand is nothing but to describe, translate or restate in one's own words. These keywords, you can use it even in the worksheets as well as in the question paper. Okay. And to utilize, apply or make useful is application knowledge. Analyzes to identify and examine, compare or contrast or deduce implications. And last part is evaluate, to make a judgment, determine validity of a claim or select and defend a position. Then create, whatever he has learned, out of that he will start or design a new thing. Okay. How to use Bloom's? Use Bloom's action verbs to write learning outcomes, use Bloom's levels to structure the course content, and use Bloom's to assess or measure student progress. So this is about Bloom's taxonomy. You can apply it anywhere. Then with regard to notes of lesson, wait a minute. Just if you want, you can take down this. Teachers, can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So why we write objectives? So in a lesson plan, we write objectives, right? Why do we write objectives? Can anyone tell me? So you write learning objectives while writing the lesson plan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. It is actually we are planning, no? What are the aims? What are the objectives based on the lesson or based on the theme of the story? We write it. And as far as English teachers are concerned, we focus more on vocabulary, the language, the pronunciation, how they learn the language, the rules, everything, right? So why we write objectives? It provides a sound basis for selecting learning materials, content, and methodology. So we write the objectives. And it also provides a way to measure or assess the students' level also, whether we have really met the objectives. So this is one part of the instructional planning that we do. Okay, you can make the lesson plan based on this. See, engage, 5 E's you can adopt always. Engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. Engage. So your lesson plan should have this particular part, how you are going to engage the students today. So students are engaged with a challenging situation, prior knowledge is activated, and questions are provoked. So always we pose questions, isn't it? We have some pre-reading for them. We pose questions, we create curiosity among the children, and then we engage the students. Then explore. We are allowing the children to explore or to investigate the phenomenon. And again, here also their prior knowledge is tested and ideas are created. Then we explain the concept to the children, right? Students explain the phenomenon, new knowledge is gained and applied. Then elaborate. Students, they apply the knowledge towards the new situations. Whatever they have learned, they will try to apply it there according to the situations. So our instructional plan should focus on all these 5 E's. Evaluate. Again, the students reflect on the knowledge, whatever they have learned. Especially in case of while you assess the child should be able to reproduce whatever he has learned. So engage. Engage is a lot of questions you can create. Okay, you can write as a part of the, you can take down in your notebooks also. Like before you enter the class, you can have set of questions. What questions you're going to ask pertaining to that particular lesson, or pertaining to the poem, or pertaining to the grammar topic that you're going to teach. Even when you teach the writing skills to the child, no, letter writing or essay writing or a paragraph writing, you can pose few questions. What are the uses of learning this particular task? Something like that. You can, general questions also you can raise the child, so that the children are more engaged. So ask questions, more questions, especially for primary classes. You keep on asking questions that will engage them really. These type of questions you can ask: where, how, who. Okay, all WH questions you can ask, but you make it make a note of the questions. You write it down in your notebook or a paper, and then before entering the class, you should be well prepared. And then when you go to the class, then you can ask these questions also. While teaching, you can pose questions, and after teaching also you can pose questions. Components of objectives again. The attributes or elements are, it should be learner centered and it should be specific and measurable. And domain types is cognitive domain, that your objectives should have some ways which it caters to reasoning level. Okay, then knowledge, comprehend, apply, evaluate, all these things you have to focus on. Learner will be able to acquire this particular knowledge. The child will be able to learn these many words from this particular text. Okay, the child will be able to apply this. So when you're teaching a particular grammar concept, you can tell the child will be able to write, or the child will be able to use the prepositions while writing. The child will be able to use prepositions while talking. Then affective domain, it caters to the attitudes or feelings, especially when you teach a poem, no? So they will be able to think, or they'll be able to imagine themselves, and they will be able to think about how the poet has written, no, the feelings of the poet and all. They'll be able to appreciate the poem. So all these things you have to, they are the components of the objectives. And psychomotor domain, of course, the skills, how you are enhancing their skills. Examples are doing guided responses. The teacher is helping the child in the class, right? You are helping the child doing the book back exercises. That also comes under psychomotor domain. How the child perceives what you teach, how the child is responding to you. So all these things caters to the psychomotor domain. So these should be the objectives in a learning objectives in your lesson plan. See, for example, this I have taken from the Grandpa Farooq's Garden class 2 prose lesson. By the end of the lesson, the students will be able to describe, the students will be able to note the things that they did together. The child will be able to infer the grandson's concern for his grandfather. The child will be able to note some information about the pests and ladybirds. The child will be able to note how to get ladybirds and how to care for birds, to read with correct pronunciation, intonation, and pause, to learn new words, and to learn values, of course. What are the values the child is going to learn from this lesson? Caring and sharing. So this is how you are supposed to write the learning objectives in a lesson plan. Minimum 5 you are supposed to write. Okay. So I'll stop sharing this. Now I will show a sample notes of lesson, and I request the teachers also to have your reader with you, your Gulmohar reader or prose reader with you.
Ma'am, we have not got it yet, ma'am, actually.
Okay, I will share a lesson or a poem from here. You can write the learning objectives. Okay, I will show a sample learning objective how we are doing it in our school. Yes. Can you see the presentation, teachers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
See, for example, this I have taken for class 3 level, okay? In the month of June. Probably in the month of June, those who are handling class 3 will be teaching this particular lesson, Noise Saves the Whale. Okay, then few grammar topics also. We choose one grammar topic, one poem, and one grammar concept for that particular month. We have 4 weeks, right? So we will have at least 2 lessons here. See, I have chosen Noise Saves the Whale and Kaku and Lal Hava. We have a poem also here, Giraffes. We have 2 grammar concepts here, singular, plural, and common and proper nouns. So this is the content part. So we are supposed to specify the topics, okay, for that particular week. See, for June 1st week, I have taken 2 topics here. One is the grammar topic and one is the lesson. See, in case if you're not able to complete both in that particular week, you can even extend it to the next week also. Sometimes the lessons are too big, no, you won't be able to complete it. So in that case, you can extend it to the next week as well. Let me minimize this. Can you see this content or able to see? Yes. See, this is a simple but an extremely moving story about how Noi, a lonely boy, saves a baby whale. So you will write the content in just 2 or 3 lines. You read the full story before you write, and write the content also in your lesson plan. Okay, this we write in our lesson plan always. So Noi is portrayed as a caring, kind, and a very responsible boy. He is not only concerned about the beached whale, but also makes it a point to see that it is comfortable in his house. At the same time, he is extremely thoughtful and understanding, and is willing to let the whale return to its family as it wants to be happy, though the separation makes him sad. This is the content. Okay, you are writing the gist of the story here in just 3 or 4 lines you can write. When it comes to a grammar part, what the child is going to learn, okay, the content you can write here. Common nouns and proper nouns. Common nouns are names of any person, place, thing, or idea. Proper nouns are the names of specific people, places, things, or ideas. Teachers, if you have a notebook or a paper and pen, you can take down this, okay? June, this is the format that we follow here for lesson plan. So we write the month and week. Then the second is we will be writing the topics. Then it is followed by the content here. See, then we have the learning objectives here. By the end of the lesson, what the children are going to learn, the students will be able to describe noise, treatment of animals, express how noise treats the baby whale as a fellow human being, infer that every creature has its own space on earth to live. So we are talking about kindness to animals also here. Express the boy's willingness to do the right thing. Okay, though it hurts also, the child is leaving the whale in the sea at the end. He wants to have the whale with himself, but then he understands what the truth is, what is the right thing. Then he is also cooperating with his father and leaving the baby whale in the sea. So that also we are focusing on. What is the right thing to do? What is the wrong thing to do? So that also we can tell the children. How to show kindness to animals, we can say, and what is the right thing also that we are supposed to do to the animals. That also you can stress on while teaching this concept. Then grammar, nouns and common and proper nouns. What are they going to learn? Identify the nouns. Because class 3 children, they'll be able to identify the nouns, and later on they will differentiate them also. What is a proper noun? What is a common noun? How to use it? And how to use them effectively and appropriately in the everyday situation while writing and reading also, and speaking also. So then comes the methodology part. Teachers are able to see? Yes. Methodology is first we have the pre-reading. See, pose questions to introduce the text. See, all these things you are supposed to write in your notes of lesson. Okay, these are the points. So please, if you want, you can take down the subtopics also here, whatever I am mentioning. One sample, of course, I will try to upload it in the WhatsApp. I'll try to share it also. Then methodology. Pre-reading, pose questions to introduce the text, then introduction about the author. Okay, 1 or 2 lines about the author, or if you have the picture about the author, you can show the picture and talk about him and discuss about the topic and read the text or play the audio. If you have the options of using the smart class in your rooms, then you can play the audio also or the animation also. The children will enjoy. Then PowerPoint presentation, of course, from the smart book, or you yourself can create for the particular lesson, and you can explain the lesson in story in detail, word by word, paragraph, sentences. You can explain it. Explain the meanings of the new words or difficult words. You can write them on the board. So all these things you have to note it down in the lesson plan. And pose questions and discuss the book back exercises. That is also very, very important. Okay, post reading is post questions, appreciate the text, values. Then listening, speaking and writing also to be done. Integrated exercises to be given based on the text. Almost everything is there in the Gulmohar reader. If you think anything else to be added, you can add on. Like as I told you, dictation can be given for listening. So dictation words you can give, and every week you can have a dictation test also in the class. That becomes a part of the listening also. Reading also you can have, make the child to read the lesson, make the child to recite the poem. So all these comes under the speaking and listening. So we are integrating all these skills to enhance them also. Then grammar part, when you have this one methodology for the grammar part is you can show the PowerPoint presentations, you can show animations pertaining to the topic to create interest, and then you can introduce the topic to them. Or you can, according to the situational approach, you can pose questions to them before you introduce the topic to them. And teacher will explain the concept with various examples. Worksheets will be discussed. You create the worksheet, as I told you, create the worksheet and you have to discuss the worksheet. You make them to write the answers, and one particular period you are allowed to discuss the answers. And you will know where they have gone wrong. The child will come out with the answers, right? So during that time, you can correct the child also. This will help you how the child has really understood the concept, grammar concept. So make it mandatory to make the worksheets to them. For particular topic, you make one worksheet. There are a lot of ample worksheets given in the grammar book also. One worksheet, one small worksheet you can give, at least before the exams. And grammar book answers for the exercises will also be done. So you can, grammar book exercises, you can write it on the board. For classes 1, 2 and 3, you write the answers step by step on the board. Okay, so that the child can, you discuss the answers with them first. And then you can write it on the board so that they can write without making any mistakes. Initially, you can guide them. Okay, the smarter ones, of course, they themselves will write. When you discuss itself, they'll be writing the answers. So this is the board writing work. Board work is especially for the slow learners. If you write on the board, the slow learners can copy it from the board, and you can also discuss the answers, and you can again reinforce the concept one more time with them. And even while writing the classwork notes on the board, you discuss the answers before writing it on the board. Then you write on the board so that the child can understand. Then age, what are the age that we are using it? That also we have to specify it here. Let me zoom this page. Yes. aids, reader and links pertaining to the topics, audio, animation, PPT and all. You can have the link with you if you're using the smart class or smart boards. Then otherwise, you can use the flashcards. Okay, this is based on online teaching I have done. So for offline teaching, you can use flashcards, you can use charts, you can use blackboard, chalk, reader, newspaper. Like we discussed yesterday, you can use lot of aids for the offline classes. You have enough number of aids to enhance the grammar topics. Then assignment, of course. Assignment based on the format that I have given you. Dictation words, meanings, opposites, question answers, ERC, frame sentences, book back exercises, and for grammar, of course, grammar worksheets and exercises in the grammar text. Apart from this assignment, you can also focus on art integrated activities. Okay, that I will show you. Let me share that also. Any doubts regarding this one? Lesson plan, teachers?
No.
Shall we do this as an activity? I will show you, I can share you a lesson here for class 3 level. You just go through the lesson and create one lesson plan and read it out for me today. Okay.
Ma'am, can you share one sample in the WhatsApp or group actually?
Which one, ma'am? This
Lesson
particular-
plan, this notes
yes,
of
ma'am.
lesson.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. Yes, ma'am. I will show it. See, one more time. These are the topics. See, learning objectives. First we have, sorry, it's not visible. I'm not able to adjust it. Okay, so you will mention the name of your school and the teacher, okay, your name of the teacher here, then class and section that you handle, month and week also. Which month, which week you're going to take this topic, then topics you can mention there. For that particular week, if you're going to teach one grammar topic and one poem or a grammar topic with a lesson or only grammar topic, that also you can specify. It goes according to the number of periods that you take. Here we have only 5 periods. Okay. So out of 5, we can teach only one particular grammar topic or one prose we can teach. In case if we have a poem, we can do both also. If we are not able to complete it within that particular week, you can extend it also. You can extend it for 2 more periods. So apart teaching, you can make use of 3 periods. Okay, you can use 3 periods for teaching, and for giving them notes again 3 more periods you can use. Because the children, they will see the board and write. Here we write it on the board and make the children to copy it from that. So it will take some time. Then we have this number of periods also you're supposed to mention. Here for online teaching, we had 3. So I have mentioned it as 3. Otherwise, it is 5 only here. Topics, of course, you can mention the topics. Learning objective content you can mention. Then learning objectives, methodology, aids, assignment. Okay, here assignment,
sorry
it
to
includes
interrupt you.
art
Priya, ma'am.
integrated activities. Yes,
Priya,
ma'am.
ma'am, sorry to interrupt
Yes,
you. You
ma'am.
can even tell them about the course of study that they have a particular common document, based on which they will do the
Yes.
lesson
That
plan.
is
You
what
can
they
tell
are
them
using
that.
our course of study only, no, ma'am.
Correct. So based
Yeah.
on that only,
That only we are writing.
we
Yes,
can't
that-
have our own will here.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That
Huh?
course of
That
study
course of
also I'm
study is
sharing
a,
it. Yes.
written document.
Yes,
So
I'm
based on that only,
yes, I'm
Got it.
studying the course of
Yeah.
study also for you. See, for class 1 course of study, I have it with me here. Can you see this, teachers?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the course of study. I think it is common for all the schools. We'll be circulating this. In the month of June, you'll be getting this. In that also, we have mentioned, see the month, week, dates, topic, content, expected learning outcome. Here we have specified it, okay? And proposed activity also. Based on art integrated activities, suggested evaluation strategies. So all these things we are mentioning it in the course of study. Please follow this course of study. Okay, everything we are mentioning it here. All the topics, learning outcomes, activities based on art integrated activity, and the assessment part also we will be specifying it here. Wait, I'll show you that also. This is for the month of July, August. See, just I'm scrolling the screen so that I can show you the test pattern. That I will show it for assessment. Tomorrow we will do it, teachers. I'll tell you how to prepare the question paper and all. Okay. And see, for class 1, we have a vocabulary list also. The child should be familiar with all these words. Some more words we are planning to include this year. Okay. So that will be given there. And what are the books that we prescribe? See, Gulmohar book we have, and Everyday English Grammar book also we have. And portions also will be given here. Okay, please refer the course of study, teachers. Everything is clearly mentioned there in the course of study. Lessons, concepts, and blueprint of the marks also will be given here. This I will talk about this tomorrow. Okay, in the assessment session I will do this. So breakup also will be given there. See what type of questions to take: opposite, singular, plural, present tense, fill in the blanks, question answers, who said this, make sentences. See, all these things we are giving as a part of in the classwork notes, we are giving them, and we will be testing them also. See here, then it is followed by the grammar topics also, concepts we have here. So I'll show you another notes of lesson. Returning to class 4, I will show you. Wait. See, this is class 4, okay? June 2nd week, orientation. Just we will be having some orientation classes for them, like bridge classes we have, right? So we'll be revising some grammar topics. So in that orientation classes means we will have some 2-3 classes, or one particular week we will have some revision with them, especially with the grammar topics. So the learning objectives, even for that also we will specify it. Enable the learner to communicate effectively and appropriatively, to use English effectively for study purpose, and to revise and reinforce the structure already learned. So the grammar topics that we will revise it here. All the grammar topics we will focus on. Okay. The month of June, first week. Then only we will begin with the rest of the lessons and all. See, here we have in June 3rd week, a lesson has been mentioned, be prepared. So we write the content of that lesson in few lines. See, this is a humorous personal essay, which reads much like a story. The main character is the narrator, Ruskin Bond himself. He describes a scout camp he attended as a schoolboy. The other important characters are, that also we will specify the characters here. Okay, and they are all the supporting characters of the story. You give the gist of the story there. Then the learning objectives, what the child will learn from this. So explain the implications of the scout motto and express the humor in the narration. That we have to tell them. We have to identify that, and we have to tell them how to identify the humor part in the lesson. Then the note the speaker's ability to see the comedy in the situations. Then explain the implications of the scout motto, express the humor in the narration, note the speaker's ability to see the comedy in the situation. Again, it has been repeated twice, sorry. So methodology, the animation of the lesson to be played if you are using a smart class. Then as the lesson is read aloud, the children are asked questions based on the ongoing incidents. As I told you, part by part, you can read the lesson, explain the new words, teach them, and then you can pose them questions. There are two important, sorry teachers, there are two important strands of the story, humor and irony. Moody 10 minutes class. The children are asked to describe these points based on the characters and scene they come across. Okay, you will be asking them to describe the character sketch. That is very, very important for classes 4 and 5. Then we have aids. What are the aids that we can use? Of course, the literature book we have. You can have a small, you can have pictures based on that. You can even have some charts also, or flashcards. You can ask the children also to bring. With regard to scout and all, you can tell them general topics, no, based on the scout rules, you can teach them. what are the scout rules, what are the scout rules that they follow in the school, how they are taking classes. Those things you can discuss for this particular topic. And then of course, written work assignment based on the classwork notes, what you give. Answer the following synonyms, antonyms, read the extract, question answers, frame sentences. Then with regard to grammar topics, again, grammar topics, see common nouns and proper nouns, countable and uncountable nouns. So what are common nouns, what are proper nouns, what are countable nouns, what are uncountable nouns? That you can mention it here in the lesson plan. Then what are they going to learn? Students will be able to, they will be able to define and provide examples of nouns in class 4 level, and how to use nouns in the sentences while they are talking, while they are writing. Okay. And the students will be able to recognize and explain the difference between countable and uncountable nouns, because it is a very difficult topic. So they should be able to differentiate between the two. And students should be able to use the correct articles, determiners, and quantifiers. Then grammar animation to be played, PowerPoint presentations we can show, and you can also focus on the topics difference between common nouns using even newspapers you can give to identify the common nouns, to identify the proper nouns. Even from the Gulmohar reader, you can ask them to identify the proper nouns and common nouns, countable, uncountable, whatever they come across. Then grammar textbook and links pertaining to the topic is given here as a part of an aid. You can use flashcards and charts for grammar topics. Okay, that is more effective. Then exercises from the grammar textbook. You can create your own worksheets also for this. And you can also include art integrated activity for that particular topic if you have. Okay, but art integrated activity, you check with your parallels. You decide for which topic you can give the art integrated activities. So for one particular term, for two, we are having two terms, term one exam and term 2 exams. So you are supposed to do 2 activities. Okay, you can decide with your parallels, and you can give the activities also.